Hey, I'm Steve Huyser-Honig. I'm the owner of Grand River Giclee. We're here in our copy studio, and today I want to talk with you a bit about the thought and effort that goes into creating a digital image from your original painting. The first thing I want to talk with you about is the lighting system we use to illuminate your artwork. We use these full spectrum daylight balanced LED light bulbs that are extremely accurate at reproducing color. There's an industry standard called the Color Rendering Index, which is an index of 0 to 100 that tells you how accurate your light bulb will be at reproducing color. A standard fluorescent light bulb might have a CRI of between 50 or 75. These bulbs have a CRI of 98, meaning that they are going to be extremely accurate at illuminating color in your artwork. The light boxes that we use include a double layer of diffusion material. This makes sure that the light that's falling on your original is as even as possible. In addition, we use a sheet of polarizing film on top of the light box. This is a system called cross-polarization, where we have a polarizing filter on the light and a polarizing filter on the lens. That eliminates all glare from the surface of your image. It's kind of like wearing Polaroid sunglasses. It just eliminates the glare. The last thing I want to talk about is the file format we shoot in. We shoot in what's called RAW format. Most people, when they're shooting with a digital camera, are going to be shooting JPEG files. JPEG is a compressed file format that can only reproduce about 256 colors per color channel. That means 256 levels of red, 256 levels of blue, and 256 levels of green. With the raw file format, we have a capability of covering 4,000 different levels of red, green, and blue. So you get a much broader range of colors that can be reproduced when you're shooting in raw. Alright, so we've framed an original in our viewfinder on the camera. You're looking at a live view on the LCD screen on the back of the camera right now. The diagram up to the upper right hand corner there is called a histogram, and it shows that we've got a good distribution of tonal ranges from dark to light, dark on the left, light on the right, with a little bit of a gap at the bright end so that we're not overexposing any of the highlights. The nice thing about the live view is it allows us to zoom in on a part of the image and make sure that we have critical focus on the original. Now that's just the first step. We go one more time. We're really zooming in to make sure that your original is in perfect focus. The last step is to just click the shutter. Okay, so we've opened the digital image we created in a program called Adobe Camera Raw. It's the software that we use to develop the raw file that we talked about earlier and create an image that we can print. Another thing I want to mention is that the monitor we use is a specialized monitor that covers the entire Adobe RGB color space. Most monitors only cover the sRGB color space, again, which we talked about earlier. The basic difference being that the Adobe RGB color space is 35% larger than the sRGB color space, so we can see more colors more accurately using this specialized monitor. Okay, so I'm sitting here in front of the monitor looking at the digital image we created. Right next to me is the original under the specialized lighting so that I can do visual comparisons one to the other. As I look at this image in Adobe Camera Raw, it looks here like we did a very good job of capturing the tone level accurately. About the only adjustment I can see that needs to be made is that the highlights are perhaps a little bit blown out in the sky. It's a little bit overexposed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to pull back the highlights, and you should be able to see that change on the monitor, bringing back detail in the sky. I also think maybe the overall exposure is just a little bit low, so I'm going to increase the exposure just a little bit and then open that in Adobe Photoshop. Once in Photoshop, I'm just going to crop the image and size it so that I can do a proof print to compare it to the original. Okay, so I've got my proof print in the same lighting as the original. We're pretty darn close, especially what I like is the blues in the mountain range in the background here, and the greens are reproducing nicely. The shadowed area over here is very good, but I'm still seeing a little bit of overexposure in the highlight areas in the sky, in the bright greens along here, even in the highlights in the flower field. So I'm going to make a couple more adjustments in Photoshop to try to bring back those highlights and do another proof print. Okay, it took a couple of tries, but I think we finally got a proof that I'm happy with. We brought back the highlights, we have more detail in the sky, and I think this is about as close to the original as it's possible for us to get. Well, I hope that gives you some idea of the care and thought that we put into making sure that the prints we make are as close to your original as possible. We've necessarily glossed over some of the finer details. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. Thanks for watching.